Hey people, it is Tuesday, August the 8th, which happens to be Meghan's birthday today. And she's here in North Bay with me. This is our second day in town. And we're going to be taking a walk from here at Castle Street and 7th Avenue. We're looking at two crazy houses here. This used to be one house. These are owned by a guy named Dan Segay here in North Bay. And for years, he's had the one house on the corner, all decked out with all this stuff, and the city has tried for years and years to get him to remove all of this stuff. They even took him to court over it, and apparently that did not work, and he prevailed, and just to spite the city, he bought the house next door and added to it and extended the stuff further down the block. So maybe he'll take it all the way down, building by building, just to spite the city of North Bay for trying to shut him down. I think it's pretty hilarious.
And that's what I call maximalism.
Yeah, and I think this looks pretty badass, you know? So we're going to walk from here, from the crazy houses in North Bay.
Look, I love how he has the it clown and like a tractor thingy.
I know, right? We're going to walk from here to North Bay's main shopping mall, Northgate Shopping Center.
That's fantastic. Look at that.
And we'll be passing by two of my former apartments that I lived in. One as a young man and another one as a teen, growing up with my family. Look at all this stuff.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. And once we get to the mall, we'll take a little walk around the mall just to do a little quick tour.
Now that's how you do homework right there. That's how it's done.
So that's right. Look up Crazy House North Bay, Castle Street, and you'll probably find many articles and news stories. I think he's even made an appearance on a few TV shows.
Oh my god, look at the Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how it is done.
So Dan Segay is his name. Owner of the crazy houses of North Bay. And every holiday season he decks it out in keeping with the theme. So Halloween, everything is spookified up. Easter, everything is bunnies. Christmas, well, you guessed what would come at Christmas. So, all right, let's make our way to the mall. What are you looking at?
The musical instruments.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we're going straight. Yeah. Just want to walk past one of my old apartments.
All right.
All the way to the mall. And look, it extends all the way down to the end of the lot line over there, too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people fuss and fuss and fuss over their lawns. Just do that.
Right?
There you go. Problem solved. Done.
And it's around 20 degrees or so. Much nicer than yesterday. Yesterday was miserable
Yeah, yesterday
with
was...
wind and rain for the entire day.
I was in bed yesterday by 8:15.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because that antihistamine that I took just like knocked me out. It's completely wiped me.
We're just walking along Castle Street, but King Street is up ahead, and we'll be hanging a right on King. So the first apartment here on King is the one where I lived with Melanie after I first moved out
Oh, okay.
on my own. Melanie is an old girlfriend of mine from the 90s. We're still in touch.
Maybe she'll watch
She's
this.
married now with children and the whole shebang. She doesn't live in North Bay anymore, though. And here it is right here, 266. I lived in the second floor where that air conditioner is. So
That's where you lived.
the window with the air conditioner was our kitchen, and the other window is the living room, and the bedroom was on the other side of the house.
And that was your first apartment.
That was my first apartment after
Wow.
I first left the nest, moving in with my girlfriend. And the next place we'll be passing will be another apartment I lived in from the age of 12 until I was about 23.
So that was the nest you left.
No, because we moved one more time after that
Oh, okay.
to another neighborhood across town where I lived for about another 2 years, and then I left the nest.
Got it.
Yeah. I left the nest when I was 25, so I kind of stayed there for quite a while, yeah, in the nest.
You're talking to a millennial. Most of my generation never left the nest at all, so...
Right, yeah. And this is a much more pleasant walk by far than yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We do have a video of our
Night and
of our
day.
hellish walk.
That was-
It might have already been posted to the channel by the time you're seeing this.
That was so bad. It was so windy and cold that I broke out in hives.
Yeah.
We were walking up the hill, and the wind was just covering my face, and then I started getting this unbearable pressure in my eardrums. It felt like my ears were going to explode, and it was so painful. And then I was trying to cover my ears and hold the umbrella at the same time, and then all of a sudden I felt this intense itching on my face, and my whole face blossomed into hives. So we stopped at a gas station, and I was like, okay, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a gas station, and I bought a reactant, and then took the reactant, and then went back to the hotel. And then when I got back to the hotel, I got in the shower, and my whole entire body was covered in hives. I had one in my belly button.
Wow.
It was wild. And then I was like, yeah, I would never survive an apocalypse, just never. If all those people who are doomsday preppers, I wouldn't even bother with that, because if there's an apocalypse, I'm just going down. I can't even survive a windy hill in North Bay in the summer.
Right.
I'm not. Who am I? I'm not surviving a bunker. There's no way. Nope.
This used to be called Central Plaza. I'm not sure if it's still called that. Oh, it is. There's still a sign there. But this used to be a grocery store here. And then it became a byway store. And now it is a treatment center. Okay.
What's Byway?
It was like a discount mini department store.
Oh, so kind of like Zellers?
Yeah, but smaller. Like a smaller version of Zellers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But before that, it was an A&P, so it was an A&P grocery store. So this is where we would come all the time to do our groceries when we lived in the house we're going to.
So what year would that have been?
Like from 1982 until 1993.
So that's where you were living when I was born.
And yeah, that's right.
34 years ago on
Yeah.
this day.
That's right. 1989, that's where I was living. This used to be a convenience store here, but
I guess someone lives there now.
now it's apartments. I kind of hate the way all the old-fashioned neighborhood corner stores have all disappeared, you know?
I know. They're so
Like
nice.
the old mom and pop type corner
I
stores
know.
that were actually handy, you know, in an old neighborhood on the corner.
Yeah,
like,
well,
yeah.
I know. They don't have those in Guelph either. It's
Like Toronto still has a bunch of them, thankfully, you know, but
yeah.
but it seems like these smaller cities lost them all over the years.
They're so handy, like all those mom and pop greengrocers in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's actually cheaper there to buy produce than it is at like big grocery stores.
Right.
Which like floors me because last time I was in Toronto a couple weeks ago, I went past one of those greengrocers and they had raspberries for like $3.99 a pint. And at my store, my grocery store in Guelph, they're $6.99 a pint. But we live closer to the farms. So I'm just like, what
Wow.
is this? But I think it's the closer you are to the Toronto food terminal, the cheaper your produce is.
Right. So this is Ferguson Street. And over there you can see a fire hall. That's the main central fire hall. And beside it is the police headquarters, North Bay Police. And the next street up will be Princess Street, and that's where I used to live. I came by here the last time I was in North Bay just to look at the old place, and it looks nothing like how it used to.
Really? Did they change it a lot?
It's been completely renovated. It looks nicer now, at least.
I mean, it has been like 30 years since you've lived there.
Yeah.
So what do you think you would have been doing on August the 8th, 1989? What would have been like a typical day?
I think I spent that summer in North Bay, so I wasn't out of town or anything. Yeah, I probably just would have slept in and got up and hung around and watched some TV, and then went out and walked around or rode North Bay Transit around for fun. That's kind of what I did in those days. Maybe walk to the waterfront, downtown, just walk up and down Main Street.
Because yeah, that would have been a Tuesday also.
Yep. Actually, August 1989, I think that's when the Batman movie was just coming out. The Tim Burton Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
Tim Burton did a Batman movie?
Yeah, the 1989 Batman. So I remember going to see that, so that's probably what I was up to around the time you were coming into the world. And here's the old house.
Oh, that's it.
So this is a bunch of apartments, obviously. It's not just a house. So we lived in apartment 3, which is the one at the very end where you see that little awning there.
Oh, yeah.
So the door on the very edge is our old apartment door. And that big window you see right there, the big one facing us, that's the living room window of the apartment that we lived in. So
Where was your bedroom?
it was on the other side of the house, the building, yeah. But those two little windows you see on the side on the second floor,
Oh, yeah?
one of them is Melissa's, my sister's bedroom window, and the
Aw.
bigger one is the kitchen window.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's where Melissa
So
was.
the whole layout of that house is just burned into my brain, you know, so
I wonder if like people who live there would like let us come see it.
that would be cool, you know. That would be cool to walk around in there
I lived
again.
here 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a
Maybe
nice
if I
house.
ever become a more popular YouTuber, you know, with
Yeah,
more
and
clout,
Yeah, and there's a chance
then
that know
they
who
would
you are.
let me do it. Yeah.
Check out that house.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
So this is my old street. This is where I used to be going up and down and all around from early adolescence to early adulthood.
Where were you living in like 2004?
I was living on my last apartment on McIntyre Street.
That was the year I started high school.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking during the live stream, I'll walk us past that place so you can check it out.
Sweet. That was your last North Bay apartment?
Yeah. Alright, so here's Wild Street. This is the same street that we got off from the cab when we went into Cecil's, except Wild Street goes all the way down to Main Street.
Oh, okay.
And this used to be a corner store here called Kitty Corner. So this was our neighborhood corner store when I was growing up here. And now it's apartments. Yeah.
It definitely looks like you're, like when you think of like a corner store, there's a corner store in Maryfield, Saskatchewan, where my dad was born, and I went to visit it like 6-7 years ago now. And there was a corner store where my dad used to hang out all the time when he was younger. And it looked exactly like that. It was even yellow.
Yeah. Yep. My mom used to send me to that store all the time when I was, 12, 13, to buy her some smokes.
Really?
So
they let you do that?
You could do that then. She would just tell me what she wanted and write a little note. And I would just take the note and go, yeah, my mom wants a pack of Players Light, and then they just go, okay, here you go. Yep.
Wow.
That's how it was.
Hashtag things that would not fly today.
Right. There's Duke Street.
Can you imagine today, like an 8-year-old shows up at a corner store and says that their mom wants them to buy a pack of smokes? The corner store would probably call CPS.
Right.
You'd be like, it's okay, little boy, you stay with me.
Yep. So next stop is the mall. Northgate Shopping Center. It's the only real mall in town. There's another older mall in the other end of North Bay, but it's declined over the years and it's almost at dead mall status now. There's still some stores left and all that, but it's nothing like what it used to be. There's just a few anchor stores and a big movie theater, but the corridors where all the smaller stores used to be, they're all empty now, right? Yeah. So basically, Northgate Shopping Center killed the other mall because they were competing, and then Northgate underwent a big expansion, and then after that, it was so much bigger and better than the other mall that the other mall just died. Yeah.
There's also just like a general die-off of mall culture now. Like,
yeah.
It's really, one of the things I'm really interested in is the evolution of retail, because like from like the 1870s all the way until like the 1980s, it was all about department stores. Like everyone shopped at department stores and that was like the thing. And then in the 1980s there was like a shift over to the mall, and then people started shopping at malls, and then that became the thing up until like the early 2000s. And then when like online shopping came to be in like the 2010s, when it really took off, then mall culture started dying off.
Right.
And now people like, there's a big movement towards like brick and mortar like boutique stores. Like people want the boutique experience, so they want to go shopping in like little boutique like high-end stores where like things are very curated. So it's like you're shopping in like someone's private collection of like curated items. Like that's kind of what people are looking for.
Right.
So it's really like the evolution of retail is really interesting. It's something I'm like fascinated by.
Well, the mall here in town, though, is really the only really busy place in terms of people walking around, other than the waterfront on a nice day.
Yeah. Which that makes sense.
Yeah, if you go to the main street downtown, even on a nice day in the middle of the workday like this, it's going to be dead.
That's surprising because there's some really cool looking places in like the downtown area. I'm excited to go there later. department store was to like cater to bored housewives. And the aim of the department store was to like bring everything that you would need to run your household and like personal items as well under one roof. So like everything that you would need to like be fashionable in your home and like on your person was like under one roof in the department store. And so like the idea of the department store was to offer housewives a chance to socialize and to like do the shopping for their households all in one spot without having to go around to a billion different places. And then the malls came along, and then like the idea of the mall, it was catered towards more like teens and like younger people, and the idea of the mall was to entertain. So that's why you see like malls with arcades and like little like, so it was to like, the idea was to draw people in there on like a Saturday or after school and provide entertainment but also shopping. And then the idea of like the boutique retail experience, which is like what's trending right now, is to offer like exclusivity. So the idea is like you go do your shopping, but you do your shopping in a way that feels like private, bespoke, exclusive. Like that's the idea of the boutique store. So it's interesting how like these different retail environments cater to different tastes and like changing times. It's so fascinating. It really is. You can like see like a real reflection of the overall culture of a time and place in like how their retail is conducted. It's so fascinating.
Well, the mall we're heading to has undergone lots of changes over the years.
Yeah, it's still like very entertainment focused. Like I was making note of that when we walked through yesterday.
Yeah.
How like it's still kind of catered towards like there's like that entertainment focus of like the little like stuff that kids can ride around on in the food court, and like it's very like entertainment. Or like the West End Mall is like a really good example of like mall culture just like gone wild, you know.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, that's what it's for.
Well, when I was a kid, like less than 10 years old, the mall was just called, it wasn't a mall yet, it was a plaza called Northgate Plaza. And then it had like a Woolworths, which is an old department store chain.
Oh wow.
and a grocery store and a few smaller stores in between, like an outdoor plaza, right?
Right.
And one of them was a hobby shop with a really cool electric train set in the display window that I used to just go and stare at all the time.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So I remember that really well. And then around 1980, the plaza was redeveloped, like added onto and turned into an enclosed shopping mall. And it became Northgate Square. That was the name of it. And it got a Woolco. The Woolworths became a Woolco store, which is another defunct department store chain.
Yeah.
And it stayed like that until the 2000s when it underwent another big expansion. The Woolco eventually became a Walmart when Walmart took over Woolco in Canada. And then Walmart decided to build a new store at the mall. So they vacated the old space and built a big new store attached to the mall. And then the old former Woolco space became a Sears. So tons of changes over the years, right?
And now Sears is gone.
And now Sears is gone, so now that space is Urban Planet. Yeah. So that was a somewhat boring, but hopefully not too dull history of the Northgate Square. Now it's called Northgate Shopping Center. They changed the name. Oh, this is the old hydro building, North Bay Hydro. It looks different now. It wasn't all clad in black like that before.
I guess they painted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like ugly mid-century brutalist buildings.
Yeah, it used to have like white sort of stucco.
Yeah.
Or just exposed concrete even, I think.
I guess they painted it black to keep up with the times, because that's that like 1960s, 1970s brutalist
Right.
architecture.
Well, speaking of brutalists, this big parking garage is a relatively new addition to the mall. They built it just around 12, 13 years ago, I would say. And it kind of looks like hell, to be honest, but...
It is a little bit hellscapey.
Yeah.
But, like, there's not a lot you can do to make a parking garage look nice.
Right.
You know, like, how are you, like, what are you going to do? There's only so much you can do. They just built a big parking garage in downtown Guelph as well. And it has, like, levels just for bikes and then levels for cars. But it like basically looks the same as that, only it has like fencing where those open spaces are.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, you can't look like, what are you gonna do at a parking garage, you know?
Right.
There's only so much you can do to make it pretty.
There's Burger World over there. It's a well-known local restaurant.
They have good burgers.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm really excited to try Greco's lately.
Yeah.
Like later. I had a peek at the menu and I was like,
Yeah. We're going to Greco's later. And this is the Highway 1117 bypass. And lots of traffic. There's always lots of traffic along the bypass here. It's the main highway through the city. The Trans-Canada Highway is Highway 17. And you can see the North Bay Escarpment off in the distance, all that big hills. There's a ski hill on there.
did you know that like this whole area and like Killarney National Park and like the whole Canadian Shield used to be an enormous mountain range?
Yeah.
That was like the size of the Himalayas.
Yeah, like those were mountains at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were so big that they collapsed under their own weight.
Right.
Isn't that insane?
Well, during the Cold War, they built an underground complex underneath that.
Get out, no way.
Yeah, it's still there. Because NORAD has its Canadian headquarters here in North Bay. This is where NORAD is located, right?
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
So they built a 3-story underground office building, like office complex, 700 feet below the Precambrian Shield, underneath the big hill over there. They called it Sage Hill. And that complex is decommissioned now, because after the Cold War ended,
yeah.
they just didn't think it was necessary anymore. So they built a new, smaller, above-ground complex at CFB North Bay, the Canadian Forces Base, which is right beside the North Bay Airport. But that big complex is still there in mothballs, and sometimes it's used for film production now. At least one movie has been filmed in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like post-
Movies, yeah, post-apocalyptic type movie, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right, we're almost at the mall. What time is it, by the way? There we go, Northgate Shopping Center.
It is 12 o'clock.
Okay, we're good. So there's the big Urban Planet store, and there's an independent grocer at the other end of the parking lot. That's a freestanding grocery store. The mall used to have a grocery store attached to it, but over the years it changed into many different things. It became a Future Shop, and then Future Shop, of course, went away, and now it's a Best Buy. This is where we're going to be catching the bus soon. The buses just pull right in here. I'm going to take a ride on North Bay Transit after the video. All right, well, let's take a walk through the mall. Yeah. All right, there's the Best Buy. And we'll take a look at a mall map. It's a decent sized mall considering,
Yeah.
you know.
It's bigger than our mall in Guelph.
You think?
Oh yeah, it is for sure. Our mall in Guelph is just like one hallway with like a tiny little hallway off it. It's like the size of the Dufferin Mall.
Huh. Dollarama. I think when this mall first opened, that was a Bargain Harold's. I'm really dating myself with that reference.
Oh, what?
Bargain Harold's.
Harold's.
It's like a discount store.
Oh.
And Sunrise Records. This is pretty new. This was not here when I lived in North Bay. I think it's cool that there's still record stores, right?
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
It's promising.
Yeah.
Good time.
And Cole's Bookstore. I used to work here in the early 90s, from 1991 to 1992. This was where I made a few bucks, and I saved up enough money to take a trip to Europe, and then I quit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm going to Europe, bye-bye.
See you later.
Yeah. And there's another short concourse here. Well, let's go up here. I'll try to hit all the main concourses. I think this Reitman's has been here since the mall first opened. And that's where the Sears used to be, and before that the Walmart, and before that the Woolco.
But there's still a Walmart. Right?
Yeah, the Walmart is just over here now.
Hey, there's a little Secord.
Yep. Susie Shear, that's been there forever too. So is this. Some of these places have literally just never changed, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is in a new location. This is a new addition since my last visit. So this is the newest wing of the mall when it underwent its last expansion. It's like a nice skylight here. And that hallway leads to the Walmart store, which is always a zoo.
Yeah. That's where we got the taxi yesterday.
Yeah. That Walmart store is probably the busiest spot in North Bay at any given time.
That's kind of sad because downtown is so cute.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice if downtown was like hopping and busy.
Yeah, it used to be. Even when I was a young adult, it was pretty hopping and busy.
It's because Walmart kills cities.
Yeah.
It comes in and then everybody goes there because it's cheaper than like the mom and pop stores downtown. And then like the city is just gutted. Like.
Yep. Hallmark store.
They've got the Halloween stuff already. I thought all the Bath and Body Works were gone.
You ready for spooky season?
I guess I am. My pagan New Year party.
I wonder what this was before Spirit set up in here. I mean, it was vacant, obviously, but
Yeah, it's always like a pop-up, the Spirit.
yeah. And the food court, mind games. It's a pretty decent food court. Only one vacancy, I can see. And that door leads to a tunnel that will take you into the bus station. That's where we arrived yesterday. Years ago, this spot where Quilts Etc. used to be a really fun store with all kinds of novelty items. Source for sports. And we're going to have to walk down this corridor again to get to the last leg.
Yeah, because it's kind of into like centric.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just walk on this side this time. And the final section. This will take us back to where we came in. You'll see kids riding around on these little stuffy riders in the mall. That's right, Fago. I wonder if my friend Jim knows about this. Detroit's magical elixir, available here in North Bay at Northgate Mall. That's funny.
There you go.
Yep.
Now he doesn't have to go all the way to Toronto.
Right. I think he has a local connection somewhere, but I don't think he knows about that. Yeah.
He's got a dealer.
Yeah.
He knows where to get it. He knows a guy.
Right.
I know, but on the way down, you know, and it's going to be a long trip. So I'm like, you have to catch the grab.
And we're back where we came in. So I think that about does it for the walk around North Bay. We started from the crazy house on Castle Street, made our way past 2 former apartments of mine, and then continued on here to the mall, Northgate Shopping Center. So it was a fun birthday walk. You enjoy? Yeah? And now we're going to catch a bus here and head to another part of town. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as view my merch store. And there's also a super thanks button right down below if you'd like to support the channel that way. And you can find me on Instagram under KContinuum, and you can find Meghan on both Instagram and YouTube under Meghan Sandor. All right, thank you all, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always,
We will continue.
we will.